What's up, guys? It's Gardy B with the Jenkins Jonez show. As always, I'm here with my good internet buddies, Dragonfly Jones, a.k.a. Tyler.
What's up, guys?
LeJethro Jenkins, a.k.a. John.
What's up, bubbas? And if you fuck with us, you want to see more of our content, please jump on YouTube and subscribe to our channel.
Let's talk about the series. What do you think is going to happen tonight? And what do you think is going to happen in the series? And I want to pick. I want a team and number of games. John.
Oh, you want to throw me out there? Shit.
John.
You ask Tyler first every time. Let's continue that. Tyler, you go first, bro.
I think Golden State wins tonight. I think it's probably gonna be, savvy veteran. We've been here. This is our sixth rodeo type, game where they just run laps around Boston. I think they're gonna win pretty handily. I'd say probably by about 8 to 10. And for the series, I don't know. Like, I really think Boston's going to give him a lot of trouble, man. I really think Boston's going to give him a lot of trouble. I don't know if I'm steering towards saying that Boston is going to bounce them, but I guess I'll just go with the safe pick. Golden State in 6.
I don't give a fuck about being safe or wrong, obviously. I've been right this entire playoffs. Maybe like 3 or 4 times. But I feel like this. I feel like going to the series, I'm like, Warriors are a better team. And I think they may be. I think they're definitely more, they have more experience. And I think that'll come into play at least in game 1. Okay. I think they're going to win game 1. But I had 6 hours on a flight yesterday to think about this, to talk
yourself into it. 100%. 100%.
And I think I've achieved that. I think their defense and how physical the Celtics are, I think that can bother the Warriors. They're bigger guards. They're longer. They're stronger. I don't care how that sounds. It's all facts. You know what I'm saying? And they have
like the receiver talking about Matt Ryan, who said Matt Ryan can put it wherever he wants. He paused himself. He said, well, odd choice of words, but y'all know what I meant.
Right. That's exactly how I feel right now. But yeah, I think they have a serious chance of pulling off the upset. And then you look at the odds are like ridiculous towards the Celtics, apparently. Did you see those graphics these past couple of days? It seems like bullshit. You know what I mean? I think people that watch the games actually think the Warriors will win, but I think the Celtics have a chance. I'm gonna just say Tatum leaves with a chip. Maybe I'm gonna say the Warriors win because I've been wrong so much that I'll.
Oh, you're gonna overthink it like that?
I don't want to jinx it.
To the graphic John's referring to is ESPN put out their BPI, whatever the heck goes into that formula.
Basketball Prediction Index?
Yeah, Basketball Power Index. And it had the Celtics with an 86% chance of winning. That being said, on FanDuel,
the actual line is the Warriors by like 3.5, right?
The Warriors are they're like slight favorites in Vegas. Shout out FanDuel.
BPI is done to like NBA teams. I didn't know that was. I thought that was just like some college shit, college ranking stuff.
You think about RPI.
RPI. Okay, there we go.
BPI is it's just their name for whatever their computer that says who it thinks is going to win the game is or whatever. I'm going to roll with Tyler. I had down Warriors in 6. I think the one thing I would just say I haven't really seen in a lot of conversations is everyone's talking about, the great Warriors offense versus Celtics, great defense. But the Warriors had the number 3 scoring defense in the league this season. The Warriors are a smart defensive team that knows it's what we talked about all playoffs. They know, everyone knows their role. Everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing. And with the pieces that they're getting back for the finals, I just don't think, I think the Celtics are going to struggle to score because I just don't know that they're diverse enough offensively to score against the Warriors, to be honest with you. They're going to sell out on not letting Tatum go crazy. And I just don't know that I believe that Jaylen Brown and a rotating group of whoever steps up, Al Horford or Grant, I just don't know that I think that's going to be enough to beat the Warriors, to score enough points to beat the Warriors. That's the way that I see the matchup going. But I do think it's going to be a series like so many that just comes down to how it's officiated. If they let them beat up the Warriors on the perimeter, it'll be a real series. And if they are loosey goosey, with that whistle, it might not be a great series.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be doing the scoring for the Warriors, though? Outside, Steph is known to have stinkers. Klay is not Klay. You know what I'm saying? Poole, first time here. Wiggins, first time here. So the same things you're questioning for the Celtics. This is what I was telling myself, lying to myself about, maybe. on the flight was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? So the only person that's been here are Klay, who's not Klay. Draymond doesn't score like he did in 2015, 2016. You know what I mean? And Steph, like we said, has a few stinkers here and there, and he has a lot of pressure on him right now. He's probably putting a lot of pressure on himself. Hasn't looked the best second half of the season, and the Celtics been trending the opposite way. You feel me? So, and they've gone through some gauntlets. Who's gonna? I mean, you got great team defense. Yes, I agree. You know what I mean? But Tatum's a fucking dog. It didn't work against a great team defensive team like the Bucks, and they had some guys to put on them too. You know what I mean? It didn't work against the Nets don't play no defense, but it didn't work against the Warriors. You feel? I mean, what against the Heat, who have great defense too, and had a guy to put on his ass. So I'm like, bro, I don't know, man. It's not going to be as easy I think I initially thought it was. And I can see them squeaking out some games. I can see certain people have nutting up on the Warriors they may need to get buckets.
Tyler, what do you think? Where do you think the scoring is coming from for the Warriors?
I think Jordan Poole is too full of himself to have new guy jitters here. I don't think that's going to be a problem with him. I think that dude is irrationally confident, which is perhaps his greatest strength. I say that as a compliment. The thing about the Warriors, like you were saying, Mike, about how people are sleeping on them as a great defensive team. Like they're the second, they have the second best defensive rating in the NBA behind the Celtics. Like they can fucking lock up too. But I think something that contributes to the Warriors defense is that they score in such spurts that teams get desperate and start taking terrible shots. Right?
You have to be real disciplined and patient to kind of weather that storm.
Exactly. When they go on that fucking 16-2 run, and then teams they deviate from the script, they stop playing disciplined ball, they start taking bad shots. So that for sure helps them on the defensive end too. That they're forcing teams into bad shots by how explosive their offense is. I think that Klay's going to be solid. I do not expect to see 2016 Klay these finals. I think he'll be solid. I think Steph is going to be Steph. I think he's going to be otherworldly. But, like I said, you can probably pencil in a stinker or two from him these finals. I think they'll be fine on the offensive end. I think that, on the defensive end, they'll prosper too. So, that's why I said, I think the Celtics are going to put up a good fight. I just don't see them stealing it.
I mean, the Celtics have worked on, they've come back from some pretty big deficits. You know what I mean? And as just as we say, they're very, Tyler, you called him stupid at times. You know what I mean?
He's like, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. But I think, they're very young and inexperienced in certain ways, and they lack discipline in moments, but they found ways to come back. So, I mean, yes, if you get down 16 to the Warriors, you try to get it back in one shot every time coming down, yes, you're digging yourself into a hole. But I think hopefully they've learned from these experiences, these last three series, where they'll use those experiences if they get down a little bit. But I mean, the point is, what I was making is Jordan Poole should be fine. Wiggins should be fine. Steph should be himself. But I think we can question them just as much as we can question some of the dudes on the Celtics. You know what I mean? Outside of
I think that's fair. I mean, it's you get into the finals and it's easy to just sort of go with the name matchup, right? Like obviously we've seen Steph and Klay and Draymond succeed in the finals, and that's not necessarily the way it plays out. I do think you put Steph and Klay in, and this has been true of most of the series, you're going to win two games just straight off of them having they have a good night on the same night the game's over, right? And I think that's part of what's been going on with the playoffs this year is everyone is shooting 3-pointers so much more that if a team is on, the game's over at fucking halftime, right? Like they're up by 20. And I feel more likely that happens for the Warriors. Like I think the Celtics want to win a game 93-85 in their heart. And I just don't think that's going to happen against the Warriors. But you make a fair point. It's not like Andrew Wiggins is is like just the centerpiece of finals experience and veteran savvy going up against a really, really smart defensive team. But the names are too much for me, bro. I just think Steph and Klay it's the finals is different. It is different than the other series. And they've had a week to get their minds right and rest up. I think the series will come down to the Celtics are so good at taking the ball out of the guy you want to shoot's hands. And we've seen it. Chuck has been making fun of him about it on TNT. Like, I think a lot of it's going to come down to Draymond floaters, mid-range. Like, they want you to shoot, and they're going to probably give you a lot of easy opportunities. If he's ready to go in and score 16 points off some, I'm 10 feet from the basket by myself, then, you know, that's going to force the Celtics into a counterpunch situation. But if he's kind of like, no, I'm just looking to pass, I want my guys to get off, I don't know. It could be interesting because they're definitely building the defense around keeping the perimeter, you know, messed up, congested and everything. And that's going to leave a lot of space. So
I think Draymond's the QB on both ends of the court. But, you know what I'm saying? If we're looking for him to score, you know,
I think that's what I'm just saying. I think that's what the Celtics want. I think that's what the Celtics are going to come out at. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? If we're looking for Draymond to score, I mean, we've seen it in the past, but we haven't seen that Draymond in a long time. So I don't know.
All right. Jackson, can you please come on the podcast?
Hello.
No, you have to show your face.
We're gonna, we need to see you. We're introducing a new segment called Roast a Celtics Fan.
Oh, great! This is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, good."
Great way to start the morning off.
Perfect.
Yeah. We have as one of our producers on Jenkins Jonez, one of the few human beings willing to identify themselves as a Boston Celtics fan in a public space. So Jackson, we just want to take your temperature. How nervous are you? How not looking forward to watching your favorite team in the finals are you?
I don't know. It's really hard to like wrap my mind around it because both teams very recently in the playoffs have looked like the best team in the NBA and also looked like, why are they even in the playoffs? Like the Warriors very recently, with all of their players healthy and playing in the game, we're down by 50-something to the Grizzlies. In a game they could have closed out the series, I believe. So, like, it's not like they're, like, always the best team in the NBA. I think more often than not they are. But, like, it's not like every game automatically they're the best team in the NBA. And the Celtics simultaneously won a Game 7 on the road against Miami, won a Game 6 on the road in Milwaukee, but lost home games, important ones, right before those. So, like, It's not, and like Jayson Tatum had 40-something. He almost had 50 against the Nets, and then he got like shut down for a game and a half by Wes Matthews. Like, I don't know. Both teams and the best players on both teams both look like gods at times, and also like they can be shut down like by like getting breathed on too hard. So like, I don't know. It's hard for me to really peg.
Who have the Warriors beat though too? You know what I mean? They've beaten teams that they should have easily beaten.
For sure.
You know, what we've seen, the Celtics may take some, they've taken some, you know, 2 Game 7s. They played some physical teams, been beat up a lot.
They've had some good teams. They've overcome some injury bad luck, but they've had some incredible injury luck to get here as well.
Both teams have had you could argue a slightly lucky route to the Celtics playing the Nets without Kyrie and the Bucks without Middleton. Not denying
not to be an old fucking 80-year-old white basketball coach, but my answer to like who did they beat is they both beat everyone they played, right? Like
I know, but Middleton wasn't even. I mean, I'd say the teams, regardless of the injuries that were there, were better than the teams that the Warriors played. You know what I'm saying? With that were healthy, and also the Warriors beat the Grizzlies. Ja was hurt. You feel me? You know, they got lucky with that as well. And then the Mavs, come on, G.
Yeah,
that's they might not. They're not as good as that Bucks team or that Heat team.
But to Tyler's point, he's made about this Warriors team, their greatest strength is that they're veterans and they know what they're doing, right? The fact that they had an easy road, I don't think that's a disadvantage. I think they're good. The week off they got, I think, is a huge advantage to them. I don't think it matters that they didn't beat, a great team or whatever.
I think it makes them look better than maybe they are. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe they look better because of the teams they played. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you can make the case. They went up against a gutted Denver. They went up against a young and dumb Grizzly squad who lost,
without Ja
near the end. They went up against a Mavs squad that needs to figure that roster out because this ain't it. But to their credit, they made light work of that whole fucking bracket. They went 12-4. You know what I mean? They didn't break a sweat at all. So like Mike said, you can only play who's in front of you. So I'm not really holding that against them. we've seen what this team can do. You know, we've seen how this is perhaps the dynasty of this era. So yeah, I'm not really holding that path that they went through against though.